Do you think space is the last boundary to conquer? You're wrong. More than 95% of the Earth's seabed still stays to be studied. Ladies and gentlemen, let us introduce our project. We are five architects who conceive a bold city that could change the future of humankind. I'm Albert, the 3D designer.
I'm Isis, in charge of the structure and its construction. I am Lorian, in charge of the geographic situation.
I'm Siam, working on the quality of life inside the SLS.
I am Eleanor and I'll be talking about the sustainable aspects of the SLS.
We are going to explain you the sea life style so that you understand all the stakes of it.
Our project will be situated not far from the coast because we have to transport and to commute rapidly and at low cost. We have also chosen deep waters because oceans cover 70% of the Earth and 80% of the oceans are composed of deep seas. It's important to choose a place where there is hot water because the electric energy comes from the difference temperature between deep cold water and hot water of the surface. We also want to use and study deep seas. It will be more of 20 possible places on the Earth.
The perfect place will be less than 2,000 meters deep, in an area near deep-sea smoking volcanoes, which are full of minerals and metals that some might even still undiscover. It is also a shelter for many species, but only if the volcanoes are active. Therefore, we chose dormant volcano areas because there isn't any life to harm or disturb, although interesting natural resources are still there to be used by industries and scientists.
The SLS is a sphere measuring 500 meters in diameter that floats on the sea. The city, located in the sphere, can host more than 5,000 inhabitants. Under the big sphere, there are two balls of 118 meters diameter each. One for the inhabitants' need, the other one, the ballast, stabilizes and alters the height of the structure. At the end of the SLS, in the deep seas, a laboratory, as well as mining facilities and lifts to communicate with the big sphere will be used to study and extract the minerals thanks to the excavator trucks.
So, to begin with, people will live in the principal sphere. In the zone facing the deep sea, people can experience and enjoy the deep water while learning about and discussing its unique qualities. They will have comfortable and safe places to live and work, not mention an impression of well-being. The main pillar will make more than 75 floors, and we can also find in colorful dwellings, shopping malls, offices, cinema, theater, hospital, and school. And don't forget that there will a lot of leisures like swimming, playing tennis, or make some scuba diving. There will be also walkable transparent balcony and kitchen gardens. Then, the SLS will have pedestrian trail at the base of the sphere that I called the Aerial Greenway, where people can walk, relax, and enjoy the view of the aquatic life. It's so fantastic! Therefore, they will have luxury flats with an underwater view. And then, what about the elevators? So, people will be able to communicate these different places by electrical lift. Concerning food, during some periods, fishing around the sphere will be authorized. People will then have some fresh and daily food. Fishing will be restricted and forbidden at times in order to not harm the environment and change its biodiversity. More food could be imported from the coast by helicopter, And of course, if people leave the cities and run away from pollution and crime, I just want to say that this LSS is a great place to live the perfect and the good life.
A central located under the big sphere will be used to dispose and store the sewage, desalinate the water, and treat the sustainable waste. It will also be used to create electricity. The difference of temperature between the surface and the abyss water shall be used there to produce energy. In fact, this gap will be a way to transform some fluids, such as ammoniac, from its liquid to gaseous state, and by making it flow into pipes near a turbine, it will enable to produce sustainable electricity in a great amount. Thanks to this system, the sea pearl will meet all its needs in electricity by providing 100% of it, which means 100 megawatts.
As we said, the ballast will contain water that will influence the position of the structure. Although the SLS will be fixed to the ground of the sea by solid strings, there is a problem. We can't avoid sea disturbances. Therefore, this ballast will be very convenient because by regulating the amount of water in it, we will be able to alter the position of the SLS in the water. The first position corresponds to regular days, when the ballast is all filled. The second one is when the ballast is entirely filled, when there are disturbances such as tsunami and storms. Then, the first position is for maintenance only. The big sphere is outside the water, the ballast is empty.
Sewer lift will make the transfer between the sphere and the laboratory, one for people and two are reserved for the natural resources. The laboratory is divided in three parts. One is the airlock for robots and submarines to depressure from the deep seas. The other one is meant for the minerals and discovered resources to be stored. The final one, the more important and the heart of our project, is the laboratory where scientists will study the discoveries.
The top of the SLS will be equipped by an heliport as well as an overcraft garage that will ensure permanent input in many supplies, to export waste that cannot be treated on site, to bring new residents, tourists or food, and of course, to transport all the natural resources to the coast. The SLS structure will be built by putting together transparent triangle pieces made of steel and glass. The triangle pieces will be huge, 30 meters in wide on 30 meters in height. The sphere will need 750 pieces to be built.
The construction is very simple. We will build the structure from the bottom to its top, so that we won't have to gather the pieces together. It will directly sink in its place. The construction of the big sphere relies on acrylic plates put together in small triangles, step by step. It should take 1 year for the construction of the main structure and 4 years for the interior trim.
The SLS can contain more than 5,000 residents. The tourists who came to discover the sea lifestyle to relax, the engineer who use the horse by drive the excavator robots, the scientists who study the deep waters, the farmer who grow crops in the kitchen garden, the fishermen who fish during some periods,
the shopkeepers to run all the recreation or shopping malls, and doctors and teachers.
The SLS could, in the future, allow cities to overcome soaring population issues, hence the fact it shall become more and more accessible through the time. They will have more and more SLS on the earth, developing their own culture and innovation, representing new utopia nation. We are confident that the SLS will represent a sustainable and safe way to prevent from overpopulation that our world has to face nowadays. Thanks you to have watched our videos, Albert, Eleonore, Isis, Siam and Lorian.